Well, if you like John Wick and you like your noir, very, very noir, you are going to love the Continental. Join me after the scroll for a spoiler-free, quick run through of why it's so good and why I'm recommending it. Bonjour, everyone. To those 20,000 mental subscribers, if you're all there, mate, thank you so much, you lovely, sexy, insane people. Thanks for that. You know how much I appreciate you lot, and you know how much I also appreciate anyone gives me a little thumbs up, particularly who gives me a little comment. Spreading the love to you all. Thanks, everyone. Now let's get on with the just a tiny little. Well, you know how quick I'm rambling already, aren't I? Let's get right to it. The Continental. We all know it. I don't think there's going to be many people that come to this that aren't aware of John Wick. But if they do, this is a very accomplished episode. It's a very well written, directed episode of TV that you wouldn't have had to have watched any of the John Wick. It introduces everything you need to know. The wider criminal or kind of criminal, the assassin world that the Continental is the centre of. And Winston and, oh, bless him, what's his name? The concierge, the black guy, I forget his name now, you know what I'm like. Introduces those two characters, but at the start of their kind of careers. So everything is here for an entertaining piece of television. First episode is nearly an hour and a half, and it is like a movie. It has got a beginning and a middle and an end. It's a superb first episode of TV. I don't know how many episodes there's going to be, but wow, you could. I watched this and it was like a decent movie, like a John Wick movie. You've got a few action set pieces in there, so if you are a John Wick fan, you can see that there's the old John Wick's fighting scenes, the guns and double, triple taps into the same person, even though they're dead, and all that kind of thing. But it doesn't weigh heavy over it. The set design and the production design in the 60s and predominantly the 70s is absolutely superb. In conjunction with the soundtrack, which is, well, it just suits it so perfectly. And I'm not a lover of, usually, I'm not a lover of pop music overlaid. The only time, it's worked for me very few times. Now, the only other time I can think of is in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, where they've got that 70s soundtrack. Well, they've done the same thing with this, but they're not trying to do it to evoke an emotion, which is what my bugbear is. They play a sad song when there's a sad scene, like a sad pop song. They'll play Adele when someone's crying or just split up with their boyfriend or whatever, just got divorced. And it's that where they should be acting. We should know they're getting divorced or whatever it is, and have a soundtrack over it, not just play us a pop song where we go, oh yeah, that's sad. Oh yeah, they're happy now because they're playing madness. Anyway, let's keep it on track. I said this would be nice and short and sweet for a change. So yeah, everything's superb. The acting as well, everyone involved, and good old Mel, right in the middle of it all. I wouldn't say it's hanging off him. It's the Winston character, the guy who plays Winston. But when Mel, I just love, and it had moments where it reminded me of an old film that he was in years ago called Payback, and that a lot of that was in a mafia hotel, but yeah, just there was just the resonance of just odd bits and bobs, but nevertheless, this show is in and of itself in its own world. They do a great job of creating an atmosphere. And like I said in my intro, it's very dark. So watch it at night so there's no glare on your TV screen. Otherwise, like me, you're going to have to watch it again to pick up a lot more of that gorgeous set design. Like I say, action set pieces are great. Mel, I'm not saying he holds it together, but it's nice to have him there to kind of give it a bit of gravitas, I've got to say. Violent, I mean, they do not hold back on it. And the opening scene sitting on New Year's Eve, where the main kind of thing kicks off, just so well staged. Yeah, and do you know what? That is it. To make it no spoilers, I just thoroughly recommend it. I can't really. I'm not saying it's the most perfect thing you're ever going to see, but I can't find much. In fact, I can't find any. If I was going to really, really, really try and nitpick something out of this, it would be that it's maybe too dark, maybe, but because it's 90% at night or in these really subdued interiors, which I think is a good cheat. With so you can swap out actors for the stunt guys and all that. It's a classic cheat. But if I was going to, like I say, if I was going to really try and find something, I would say maybe that's a little bit overdone, the darkness of it. But I can see what to be fair, it didn't spoil me. I'm just kind of not making things up, but I'm really digging hard. Like I say, well acted, well directed. These are all people. And I noticed executive producer was old Chad Stalinsky, however you pronounce his name, who is the director of the John Wick films. So you can tell, but you don't have to watch the John Wick. In a way, it would have been a good experiment to put the Continental and not have a John Wick world story, whatever they've put in brackets after it, and see if anyone that isn't particularly into John Wick might have watched this. Because this isn't full-on gunplay, it can't be for the entire series, but they've set up within this first episode everything you need to know. And how Winston gets on in his early days. So, yeah, thoroughly recommend. And on that note, I will bid everyone adios.